So this week is actually a first. I just ordered a pizza, so it might appear before I am done shooting this video. In fact, it'll most likely show up before I finish shooting this video. So at some point during this video, it's gonna be like, oh, it's pizza time. And then I'm gonna have to stop recording it and then eat pizza and then come back. So the second half of this video, I'll probably be bloated because I'm going to eat so much pizza. I don't think that's how eating actually works. Like, you don't bloat that quickly if you... Anyway, just giving you a heads up that at some point, it's going to be pizza time. Okay, roll the thing. Hey guys, Sean here. So a few weeks ago I did a video about the top Kickstarters of all time and breaking them down, basically talking about various things. I'll link up here. There's a card up here that will link to that video, and also I'll put the link down in the description because cards don't work for everyone. So I don't even know why I bother making a card if I'm just going to put it in the description, but you know, better be safe than sorry. Put it both places for your preference. So anyway, I wanted to do an update on two of the Kickstarters that I talked about in that video. And first off, I want to talk about the number 2 most funded Kickstarter of all time, and that is the Coolest Cooler. So let's go to the board here of the most funded Kickstarters of all time. And you see here, number 2 is the Coolest Cooler. Now I talked about it before. I didn't really know much about it. I checked out their website, checked out what it was, and was like, wow, this is a ridiculously expensive cooler, but I could see if you were someone who goes cooling a lot, this would be a great product. So what I didn't realize is this Kickstarter is considered to be one of the biggest failures of all time as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at it again. Now everything looked good. I mean, they made $13.2 million. Estimated delivery was December 2014. They have a website where you can actually buy these things now. So what was the problem? Well, as it turns out, if you go down here to right here, pledge $165 or more, which was the first tier where you could actually get the Coolest Cooler if you pledge that much. The price is what we're going to be looking at here. $165. So that got you the cooler with the blender and the waterproof Bluetooth speaker and a USB charger. And so if we go to the Coolest Cooler website and we make a cooler that has all those same features, how much does it cost? Oh, it's $399. Wow. Let me change to one that isn't out of stock. Yeah, so that's quite a reduction in price. And it turns out that ended up being a bit of a problem because when it came time to actually manufacture these things, they didn't have enough money to actually do it, which is why they're now selling them for such a ridiculous price. Because all the profit that they make off of the ones that they sell on the website then go to fulfilling the orders from the Kickstarter. If we go to comments, you'll see there's 21,187 comments, and they are not positive in any way, shape, or form. As we see here, the first comment from an hour ago, it's sad to see when the company I work for is giving away Coolest Coolers as a promotional item when I'm still waiting for mine almost 4 years later. And 0 updates in many, many months. It's disgraceful. 4 hours ago. I think the backers have been extremely patient considering the wait. When will we get an update on the status of the orders you promised? It's especially frustrating when others who were not backers are receiving products that those posting in the thread all collectively financially helped to back. This is not right. 19 hours ago. Super backer. Still nothing. What a ripoff. A day ago. Wow, I'm really annoyed. Back this POS and don't even get updates. So yeah, as you scroll through here, there's a lot of angry people. A lot of colorful language too, of course, because they are not happy. Let's go to updates and see what's the deal with the updates. The last one was March 12th, and it's for backers only, so we can't look at it. But I'm sure whatever they said didn't make people happy. And before that was June 23rd, so yeah, they've been kind of quiet. But yeah, I found that interesting that. So this was the second highest funded Kickstarter of all time, and I didn't even. Oh, look at this. The Fire Festival backers got more for their money than we did. Wow, that's harsh. But yeah, so the Coolest Cooler was actually a major failure. And I've also heard that one of the big problems is people aren't actually buying these. So they're not making the money to fulfill the orders of the backers as much as they would like to hope that they are. So that's crazy that the number 2 Kickstarter of all time is essentially a... Well, I mean, it's not a massive failure, but it's a failure. So what I've seen is that the guy that made this, he got in over his head and he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't have the wherewithal to figure out what was needed. He completely undercut himself, essentially. He didn't charge enough for the Kickstarter. And that's a problem people run into. They're like, okay, well, we'll sell this at a good price. I guess he didn't figure out in advance how much it would actually cost to make these things. And now, yeah, look at this for 8 days ago. I come back to this comment section every now and then just for laughs. Hello, good people of the coolest comment section. How has it been? What's new? Your son has already graduated? You're a grandpa now? Wow, how time flies. Still no beach outings, eh? / hugs. That means you can give it's an action command. Well, it's this way. It's an action command. It means to give a hug. I have long since considered this a failed investment and moved on. Another year to go before we all get the awesome returns of investment. 20 USD, I believe. It's been half a decade. One would probably have saved up more $1 a day than spending their time waiting, venting, and ranting on this. Best to move on, and who knows, by some miracle, we might get the upgraded version or our money's refunded. Wishful thinking, or pure bonus. Take it easy, guys. See ya. 9 days ago, 2019 update. I bought this thing 3 girlfriends ago and still haven't received mine. Most successful Kickstarter ever, or most epic failure. So yeah, I don't really know what else I want to say about this. I just found it really interesting that, like, I just looked at this Kickstarter a few weeks ago and I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting product. And then I ended up later finding out that it's a major failure. But anyway, let's move on from that one to another one. Now, if we go back to the most funded Kickstarters of all time here, we will find that the one that I was making the video for, essentially, the one that made me look at Kickstarter to begin with a few weeks ago, and the most successful ones of all time, that being the Critical Role one, ended this week. So as I mentioned before, Critical Role started a Kickstarter because they wanted to make an animated special based on their first campaign, and they asked for $750,000, and I believe that I made that video within the first week of their campaign, and they had already made like $2 million by that point, I believe. And so let's see where they ended up on the most funded Kickstarters of all time board. So here we have 1, 2, 3, and here we have 4. Oh, look at that. Number 5. That's pretty amazing. What exactly, what does that mean exactly? Let's see, 88,887 backers pledged, 11.385 million. They destroyed it with their Kickstarter. So if we scroll down here, the initial plan was to make a 22-minute animated special. And as we go down to their stretch goals, they kept adding, and they kept adding, and they kept adding. And eventually they reached the point where they think they got to 10 22-minute episodes. So essentially an entire season of an animated series. So not only is this the 5th highest funded Kickstarter of all time, it is the #1 highest film and TV Kickstarter of all time. Because if we scroll down here, and we will see here and here are the other 2 most funded film and TV Kickstarters of all time. The Veronica Mars movie project and Bring Back Mystery Science Theater 3000, which I, of course, also funded. And I got a cool hoodie for it, which I've talked about on this channel. So on Thursday night, when they had the end of the Kickstarter campaign for Critical Role, and they did a live stream for it, Joel Hodgson, who is the creator of Mystery Science Theater 3000, he actually showed up to their studio to be there, and he brought them a championship belt. Now, it turns out, actually, that Critical Role and Mystery Science Theater 3000 actually pooled together to get this championship belt made. And there's spaces on it. So here's the belt itself, and then there's medallions on the side. And on this side, there's a Mystery Science Theater 3000 medallion. On this side, there's a Critical Role medallion. And then there's blank ones here. And so the thought is that if any film or TV Kickstarter ever beats the Critical Role record of $11.3 million, then Critical Role will hand off this belt to them, and then they'll put the medallion on here for them. I honestly don't ever see that happening, because the fan base for Critical Role is so strong that honestly, like, Critical Role and Mystery Science Theater 3000 are probably the 2 properties that have the strong enough fan base that could actually get that much money. Because everything else that has a huge fan base that would potentially be able to raise that much money already is owned by some giant corporation, so they don't actually need to do it. So I just get the feeling that they're just going to have this forever. This is never going to be beat by another film and TV property. And if it is, that property doesn't exist yet. That's the way I see it. Like, it'll have to be something that comes out and then becomes popular before they run a Kickstarter. I don't think there's anything that currently exists that will be able to do it. So let's take a look at their rewards here really quickly, and this is something that's fascinating to me. So as we scroll down here, here's the rewards. So when talking about things that they're going to have to manufacture for their rewards, so at $100 you get a deck of playing cards and a special set of dice. This level actually has the most backers at 37,000 plus. And the way that Kickstarter works, so everyone that is at this level gets everything here and then everything here. So they'll also have to produce enough of these things for this level. So this looks like it's actually physical goods that they're going to have to create as well. So they're going to have to create 37,000 plus cards, dice, and prints. However, since it all goes like down the higher you go, the people at this level also get it, and then the people at this level also get it. So as I was looking at this, I was noticing, okay, so this level is the one that has the most manufacturing thing. The thing that is going to take the most to manufacture, and that is this messenger bag. So how many people actually were on the level for the messenger bag? Well, there is 4,622 backers for the messenger bag. And then above that, there's 1,000, and above that, there's 1,000. And so I've kind of figured it out, and I think they have to make about 10,000 plus, like not much more, like between 10,000 and 11,000 messenger bags. And then I think they got to make about 15,000 of these plush trinkets, a bear that's a character in the series. They got to make about 15,000 of those, and they're going to have to make about 45,000 plus of the cards and the dice. And yeah, because above that there's like a script and an art print And so those things aren't that hard to make. So, well, and then there's these pins too. So these are the things that are probably the most expensive to actually make. And so yeah, the 45,000 plus sets of dice and cards are going to be the most interesting thing that they have to do. But I mean, they have dice. I have a set of Critical Role dice right here on my desk, so they have a company that makes dice, so they're already set up for that. And playing cards, probably not that hard to make. Really, it's this messenger bag and the 10,000 plus messenger bags that they have to make that's going to be the most interesting. But yeah, so that's the Critical Role Kickstarter. It got funded, so now they go into production. They have said that in June they're going to start their writer's room, which is essentially where they all get together with the writer and they work out the stories and they work everything out, and then she'll go off and write all the scripts and everything, and then they'll start production. And let's see, everything, estimated delivery for all the rewards is May of 2020, and then the actual show itself, they have said, should be done in the fall of 2020. So we'll see if they make it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm really glad that they managed to make enough money to get all of this. And they've already started talking about they're going to have special celebrity guests doing voices on it. I mean, Sam Riegel, who's the executive producer on this, he and is a cast member of Critical Role, he was on Twitter, he was talking about, we're going to have all these celebrity guests. So look out, Lin-Manuel Miranda, you're going to get a call from me. And he tagged him in the tweet, and Lin-Manuel Miranda was like, I'll do anything for you, Sam, because Lin-Manuel Miranda is the voice of Gizmo Duck on DuckTales, and Sam Riegel is the voice director on DuckTales. So he already knows him, so he can easily get Lin-Manuel Miranda to be in this. So that's going to be amazing. But yeah, all the connections that they have and everything, this is going to be a great thing when it's all said and done. And I don't see how, once it's done, they don't then end up being able to make a second season with funding from like Netflix or Hulu or whoever. Like, they'll be able to sell this as a future product, that they don't have to go through Kickstarter to do it again. And that's really the goal of these things, is that you are able to get enough money to make the thing, and then you can get backing from actual companies and stuff. So you don't have to crowdfund anymore. You can just go through the normal means. But anyway, that's going to do it for this week's video. The pizza is almost here, so I managed to get this done before it showed up, so good for that. Let me know in the comments down below, I don't know, do you have any favorite failed Kickstarters, or do you have any favorite successful Kickstarters? Let me know all about it in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more of the crazy crap that goes on around here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to help support the crazy crap that goes on around here, go ahead and hit up my Patreon. Link is in the description. And with that, have a good however long it is until you watch my next video.